Crystal Vilkaitis, it is a pleasure to see you again. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's so good to see you, Pete.
I know we're used to seeing each other, once or twice a year at different conventions and things like that, and they just haven't happened over the last couple of years. And it's great to see your smiling face here on video, and looking forward to our chat today.
Yes, me too. And I can't wait for in-person conferences and
Oh
things to come
yeah,
back to
I
life. So hopefully
know.
I get to see you soon.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Me too. And I'm really excited. Since I last saw you, I know you've made a big move, and you've things have changed within your business. Yet you just told me you've had your best ever year. Tell us kind of how that all came about.
Yeah. So originally I'm from Colorado, but 12 years ago I moved to California because I'm a total sissy in the cold weather. And so I just went out there and I loved being in California. While I was out there, I met my current boyfriend that I'm with now, and I started a business called Crystal Media about 10 years ago. And so, we started off very small, just kind of out of my house, but then had our offices. And with COVID, we kind of all went remote. We shut down the office, everybody's at home.
Yeah.
And during that time, it was really, I think a lot of the world was like analyzing what's important to them and what do you want to do with your life. And I was doing that, and I felt like I really want to be back home, back near my grandma, my
Yeah.
dad, and where I grew up. And thankfully my boyfriend was on board, and we were remote, with my employees. And so I did it. And so now I'm living in Colorado, running the business remotely, and I'm loving being home. And you know what? The winters aren't as bad as I remember them being.
Well, I live in outside of Toronto, and I hadn't skied for many, many years after moving here, and I started skiing again. And the skiing here is definitely not as good as in Colorado, but nonetheless, it's been a pleasure to start doing having the freedom to start doing some skiing again and enjoy some winter sports. And I've enjoyed that
Totally.
again this year. Are you a skier?
Snowboarder, but
Oh,
I haven't
nice.
snowboarded since I left, and I'm worried because I don't know if I fall, am I gonna like totally hurt myself? Can I get back up? So, but I want to go try again.
I was
I'll get
10
out there.
years, and I getting to the top of the lift and looking down, it's like, "Can I do this?" You
Yeah.
can. You
Okay.
can. It's not
Okay.
that hard. Just don't go double black right off the bat.
No way. I will take it slow.
Get out there before the season's over this
I
year,
know.
Crystal.
I
So
know.
tell
It's
us,
coming.
give us a couple of tidbits around, how that transition went for you, and what were some of the things that went really well, and a couple of things that maybe you didn't expect that happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, thankfully, I'll say before we went remote and I moved, I read this book, Rocket Fuel, that like
Mhm.
totally
Yeah.
changed my business. You probably know
Yeah.
it.
Gino
And,
Wickman's,
and
The Traction and all. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Yeah. And so I really realized, okay, I'm a visionary. I need an integrator.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I had somebody on my team, Pauline, who is an excellent integrator. And we are just a really great partnership. So, I really feel like that is the number one thing that's helped me build my business and stay in business. And so having her in place to really manage the day to day and work with our team,
Mm.
and manage our projects, that's something that's been really helpful for me, I think, to kind of move to Colorado. The thing is most of my employees are still in California, but we
Yeah.
do have a few in other parts of the country now. And we even have a contractor in Canada.
Nice.
And so, having that partnership in place in the company structure has been something that's been really helpful to allow us to go remote. And the thing is like one thing, just today, I was talking to Pauline. We miss that element of being able to knock on her door and say, "Hey,
Mhm.
I have an idea. Do you have 15 minutes to talk about it?"
Yeah.
And kind of that camaraderie you have with the team, the water cooler talk, like
Mhm.
ideas are just born out of nowhere
Yep.
sometimes. And so we were just saying today how we want to try out having just a time slot during maybe 1 to 2 p.m. Everybody syncs their calendar, don't don't have any meetings. Block it in case somebody's like, "Hey, I've got an issue. I want to brainstorm," or "Hey, here's an idea. I want some feedback. Who can jump in?" And I love that, like protected time for the team since we
Yeah.
don't have it like physically. So I think that's something that's really important. You have to really find those ways to still connect. We do our Christmas parties through Zoom,
Yeah.
and like we play games, we give
Sure.
prizes, we dress up. Like you just have to try to bring that culture piece through the computer,
Yeah.
and that could be challenging. But the other thing is, like, some people really love that that's how it is, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
and I also feel like our efficiency, it never went down. If anything, it went up.
Mhm.
Client retention is strong. Like I mentioned, we had our best year ever last year, and we were 100% remote, and that's with me moving to
Yeah.
Colorado. So a big part of that is just like really great connection with the team, great structure, having Pauline as the integrator, and finding these ways to still connect from like a culture company level.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I've got this little model that I'm writing a book on now, and it's all around the 5 Ps. And the 5 Ps are knowing what your promise is. I'm not going to go through it here, but I'll give you the 5 Ps.
Yeah.
Aligning your product, your process, and your people to it so that you can enjoy the profit, right? And a lot of
Mm,
what you just talked about, the right process, the right people, and the right product that align with that promise is so important. And you were just saying that, we've got this we got the right people in place. We have the right processes. And yeah, are we tweaking things? Yeah, we're tweaking things. And that's okay, right? It's
right.
okay to tweak things. It's okay to find that extra hour so you can have the water cooler chat. You're changing the way things are done in order to accommodate the current reality. And I think that's where a lot of the people kind of got lost in this mix of when they went, they weren't unwilling or didn't know what to do or how to do it to make some of these changes to have their best every year.
Oh, exactly. There was so much unknown,
Yeah.
and I feel like there still is. And it really is just like I love your 5 Ps. Just kind of thinking of that promise. And I just think
Mhm.
like getting clear, like what are we doing and where do we want to go and our why, right?
Yeah.
And as long as we all understand that and we're rowing in the same direction, then it's pretty powerful what we can achieve. But there certainly is that element of like of missing
Yeah.
people, and I wish we used to go out to happy hours for people's
Yep.
birthdays and stuff, and
I
we
get
don't
it.
do that now, and so I miss it. But there's benefits and
Yeah, there
advantages
are.
and disadvantages to both sides.
And I mean, you can still pull together on a quarterly basis or
Right.
twice a year or even once a year and pull everybody together for that in-house meeting and get together and at an offsite and do, have let's call it the pressing flesh, shaking hands and giving everybody a hug and all that kind of stuff and feeling the warm and fuzzies around the team and building that bond and culture. And I think
Totally.
that's so important. And we do as much as we can. We're probably more active on video and all this sort of stuff like we're having today, yet some of that stuff doesn't happen, and that's still needed, to create even a deeper bond and relationship with your team. And so I love that idea of all those different things that you're doing to change it up so that you're getting there even quicker.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. It's been
Cool.
a learning curve, but it's been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, awesome. Crystal, we've used your services along over the years as well at Crystal Media, and such a great sort of platform and system. I mean, I'm a big systems person, love processes and all that stuff. And, one of my coaches, Joel Weldon, introduced me to this word, the acronym for the word system, which is a system saves you stress, time, energy, and money. So what does the
Mm,
system do? It saves you stress, time, energy, and money. And I know, from your processes that you have in the back and your video platforms and all this other stuff, that's what it does for people, right? And so I will let you share that a little bit later, but I want you to kind of give the listening audience here an idea, because of your focus on digital media and all the new marketing things that are out there and all that stuff. What are the things that you've noticed really since COVID, or even in the last year? What have been the fundamental shifts that people may be late on, or maybe don't even know about, that you're seeing out there that are going to help our listeners take their marketing to the next step?
yeah, absolutely. There's very clear things that I'm seeing that's working really well.
Yeah.
So what happened obviously is our we had to close our stores if you had a physical brick and mortar,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden like we're not seeing our patients, our
Mhm.
customers, and we had to be creative. We had to evolve, and social media was where people turned because it allowed us to still stay in contact. And
Yeah.
so the good news is that I saw a lot of our, we specialize with independent retailers. I saw a lot of our retailers. I mean, we were flooded, Pete, with
Yeah.
people reaching out, being like, okay, I've been putting this on the back burner, but help me. I need to stay in contact with my customers. What do I do?
Yeah.
And so, we were ready for them. We've got the training, we've got you. One of the biggest things was going live. So, live
Mm.
selling, or you don't always have to be selling, you could be streaming through Facebook typically, but whatever platform majority of your customers are on. And there was a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear for people to
Yeah.
be on camera and
Yeah.
use video. So we had to coach people through that and kind of give them the step by step of how do you set up, like, before, during, after, all the tech stuff. But people just pushed through the fear because they kind of had no choice,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like, you just got to go. So I loved seeing so many people push through and just embrace social, be more consistent, live stream, and then where it's at now. So live streaming, hands down, still is working phenomenally. But then TikTok is Crazy Town USA effective. Like, I'm really excited about it. I was on TikTok before COVID, even when it was Musically, I was on it.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of business owners think it's what Musically was. They think it's dancing and singing, and that doesn't make sense for me as a brand. But since COVID, like, we've just seen a lot more people join TikTok. I think it was like the fastest growing app in 2020 and 2021, like, downloaded app.
Yeah.
And more brands are showing up there, and they're starting to understand, like, oh, I'm going to be authentically myself, create some of these TikToks, and then boom, all of a sudden, this is the beauty of it with the algorithm, is anybody can go viral,
Yeah.
can really get this free organic exposure. Because if you're not live streaming on Facebook, it's really hard to get organic free
Oh my gosh.
exposure.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
You really need to be advertising, in my opinion, if you're using that platform. Where TikTok, the organic reach, and I just did a conference a few weeks ago for retailers and shared some case studies. I mean, there's this brick and mortar candy store that pivoted. She was only brick and mortar, but then decided to start selling online,
Hmm.
as many did with COVID. And she now does 1,000 orders a day
Oh
because
my
of her
gosh.
because of her TikTok channel. Like,
So crazy.
it's so crazy. And all she's doing is, like, showing candy and is
Yeah.
authentically herself. And she'll pack up people's orders on camera. And then people love it. Like, that
Yeah.
gets hundreds of thousands of views. It's insane. I've heard from businesses that say, like, TikTok saved my business. I had no other outlet. I turned to it. I was just myself. I showed my furniture. There was one furniture maker, and boom, like, people started ordering. And he's 90% of his business is from TikTok.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. That's awesome.
it's so crazy. So I just, like, my biggest advice would be embrace it. If you're not using it today, start watching some of the content so you
Yeah.
can start kind of seeing, like, how are people using it. Yes, you're going to see some dancing and singing. That's still there.
Yeah. Sure.
And if that aligns with your brand, then do it, because
Yeah.
that, works. But it doesn't have to be like that. We're just authentically be you. Know your promise, the 5 Ps, right?
Yeah.
And this is such a strong platform. I'll add a 6P there, for you to really connect with your audience and grow your business. And it's only gonna increase. I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see what's gonna happen this year with TikTok.
Cool. I love it. I love it. And it's one that I haven't explored enough yet. So I've got to dig back down. And that's my to do, my takeaway here from the episode today. I love it, Crystal. It's been great to see you again, and I really appreciate our conversation. Want everybody to know how to reach you. So why don't you just tell us all how to get a hold of Crystal Vilkaitis and Crystal Media?
Yeah, absolutely. So crystalmediaco.com is our website. We've got a blog on there that's got a ton of free content. You're going to be hearing a lot more about TikTok from us. Crystal at crystalmediaco.com is my email address. And if you ever have questions in the social world, or want some examples of what people are doing, or some motivation and inspiration, we've got you.
And you've got a podcast too. So why don't you tell us about your podcast?
I do. I've got a podcast called Crystal Uncorked, and I am somebody who loves talking about business over a glass of wine, ideally. And so that's exactly what I do is open and honest conversations about business and about my journey with a glass of wine with guests like yourself and Pete. I know we talked, you're going to come on the show, which I can't
Yeah,
wait.
looking forward to it.
So yeah, crystaluncorked.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Crystal. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pete. So good to see you.